come on, it worked before. There we go. That'll do. Morning, folks. So the weather is getting nice. And because I hadn't done my video yet and I was watching the lotus eaters, I figured I'd address something that came up in the comments, or at least something that came to mind for me in the comments. That's good. So they're talking about Anna Kasparian being red-pilled. Maybe. I'll leave the jury out on that one. But I made a comment that I firmly believe in repentance, forgiveness, and redemption. And I've noticed a lot of people on my side of the argument, whether the argument is against cultural Marxism or child grooming or what have you. I've noticed that a lot of people on my side of the argument, there's a distinct lack of willingness to forgive or to allow redemption. And for a group that says they're very focused on tradition and the morality of Christian principles, that's not very Christian of you. Now, granted, I see where some people will say, but you're an atheist. You don't get to have an argument about Christian morality. Well, yeah, I am an atheist, but I was raised in the West, and the West is fundamentally Christian at its foundation. Like it or lump it, that religion shaped Western thought. And, I mean, even the Vatican maintains a strong science section. At least it did when I was a kid. Whether it does now or not, I don't know. I suspect a lot more of their efforts go into covering up bad behaviors. But leaving that aside, you cannot have you can't uphold some conservative principles and not uphold all of them. The conservative principles of individual freedom and liberty of choice come with two big problems. If you're giving people the right to choose what they do, you're giving people the right to choose to do wrong. That's fine. We also have mechanisms for punishment. Again, repentance, or at least redemption, or I guess at the very least retribution. But more importantly than that, if you're giving people the choice to do wrong, you also have to provide a mechanism by which they can do right and correct their mistakes and be welcomed back into the fold. Someone like Anna Kasparian being a perfectly good example is if, for example, Anna Kasparian were to suddenly start speaking conservative views, to be holding those views, and to be legitimately, honestly holding those views, I, for one, would be very welcoming of her. Because she's clearly an intelligent woman. Say what you like about who she works for and the things she says, she's clearly intelligent. She may be misguided, but she's intelligent. And it's wrong to force someone to pay for a mistake their entire life. Now, granted, there are certain choices that there are no coming back from. Or at least no easy road back from. And if you're not willing to forgive someone because they held a different view from you, even when that view changes, and it's sincerely changed, then you're really no better than the leftists who refuse to forgive white people for slavery that happened generations ago, while ignoring the fact that slavery still goes on. And while that will probably upset a few people, because, I firmly believe certain punishments should be dealt out, and death penalties in some cases. But by the same token, I don't believe that banishment, or there's another term for basically excluding someone permanently, but I can't remember what it is at this point. Ostracization. I don't believe that should be a permanent solution to a lot of things. And in my life, I've seen many examples of people who have done wrong, asked for forgiveness, been given it, and then redeemed themselves over the course of time. A lot of people on, again, my side, are big fans of Trump. But how many of them know that he was a massive Democrat for a while? Yeah, he was quite buddy-buddy with the Clintons for a while. Ronald Reagan, one of his more famous sound bites at this point is that he used to be a Democrat. And people change their views. People change their attitudes. People can change. But if you're not willing to accept that change, then, in my opinion, you're the one who's making a mistake. Look at Milo Yiannopoulos. He now says he's straight. He apparently is living as a straight man after, I assume, having dealt with some trauma from his childhood that led to his, I suppose we can call it sexual deviancy. And, I mean, personally, I support him in trying to change his ways. Right? If that's what he's really doing. Now, granted, I respect Milo's conservative attitudes, but he clearly hit a point of a crisis of thought or or identity potentially, and now is seeking to change that identity. Justin Bieber, a few years back, he was a little savage. I would have happily punched the teeth right out of his face. Since then, he seems, and again, I can only go with what I've seen, but he seems to have changed his ways significantly and seems to be attempting to do better for himself. Do we refuse forgiveness for those people? The Catholics were kind of onto something when they institutionalized forgiveness. That said, and this will carry on a little bit more, if you seek forgiveness and receive it, and then, how to put it, betray that trust that you're given, then I think you should be treated even more harshly than you were before. Does that mean you can't then be forgiven again? Of course not. There are loads of recidivist criminals who eventually manage to turn their lives around. And there are loads of people who never get caught for anything who refuse to change. And there are probably some who never get caught for anything but change anyway. There was, Muhammad Ali is a good example. Muhammad Ali had some very extreme views in his youth. And as he got older, he changed his views. And now he's one of the most respected. people ever to have lived. But that doesn't wash away what he said when he was younger, what he did when he was younger. He was a draft dodger, if I recall correctly. Uh, he was also very, I guess the term would be anti-white, though I'm not 100% sure that necessarily applies. I think he was attempting to be pro-black, but went the wrong route with it. The difference being, if you're pro something, that doesn't necessarily make you anti something. The two don't necessarily have to coexist. I can be, for example, pro dog and not be anti cat. I don't particularly like cats, but I'm not against cats existing. Much. Yes, that was a joke. Before all you cat people lose your minds at me. But my point is that if you're going to believe in the traditional ideals of Western culture, you have to accept forgiveness as one of them. You cannot go around constantly making enemies and never allowing any of those enemies to redeem themselves in your eyes. Which is why the leftists are just one giant Ouroboros that's slowly shrinking itself. When we say the left eats its own, we're not wrong, because the left has no mechanism for forgiveness, except apparently for certain celebrities. In any case, folks, I'm going to end this here. I really don't like having to do the e-shilling thing, but you know, like, share, subscribe, comment. If you feel that my content is worthwhile, you can donate at the PayPal link. Actually, I think now that I'm thinking about it, I think I probably put that PayPal link badly. In any case, you can also find my completed projects on Getter, or you can email me. Again, there's an email in the description. And we can negotiate a price. Other than that, there's not a lot going on. I have to go and do some more painting today. Hopefully I'll finish today. And other than that, I have the Shades of Dominion live stream on Thursday, the Sultans on Saturday, and my own live stream on Sunday. What else is going on? I don't think I have a heck of a lot else going on online. I do realize I've completely fallen off the poetry reading, and I still don't think my voice is quite up to doing the audio read for Venture Leaving Day. I'm still working on the flute, so at some point today there will probably be a short live stream where I do the drilling. Hopefully I don't destroy the flute doing it. I have an idea for some of the possibilities of how to do those holes safely. Safely so that I don't destroy the flute, rather than safely for me. Safety for me is very easy. Almost reflexive even. In any case, folks, that's going to be it for me. I appreciate you all hanging out till the end, of course. And I hope you're having a good day. I hope you continue to have good days. And rise and rise again until lambs become lions. Bye-bye.